I have this thing of saying whenever I'm recording. It's kind of annoying. So I'm thinking to myself, you know what? I want to see if I can do a full recording without saying. Okay, but then I've already started with it anyway, so yeah. So maybe from now on I should refrain from doing it. Let's see, it's after, oh goodness, I just did it again. It's after, gonna be after maybe a minute, and then yeah, I should try to not do that for the next coming or the whole recording session. So what did I want to talk about today? Today's anyway, today's question is, how am I experiencing awakening on a day-to-day basis? My routine has definitely changed. As in, like, I do things that I never used to do. Like, I'm mindful of prayer. I pray more. I pray for everything. I pray for food. I pray when I wake up. I pray when I'm making my bed. I pray for my bedroom, to cleanse the bedroom. I pray for the workspace that I use on a daily basis, to cleanse the workspace. I don't necessarily use any type of incenses or any type of cleansing things. I just pray, ask the universe, Father, Spirit team to assist me and help me cleanse the room. I cleanse the whole house as well as I open the windows. Those are the things that I never really thought of doing when up until now, up until awakening, and I'm realizing that, you know what, I need to be mindful about my spirit, right? So I also, every now and then, because of I'm in an environment which is set up for me to receive their curses for whatever targeting that they are doing, be it, I don't know what kind of targeting they're doing, but so that it works properly. Um, my devices have been, I don't know, they don't work. They don't work as well as they should. Like right now, just before I was trying to copy, because I'm using my phone to record, and I'm trying to move the files from my phone because my memory is full, onto my PC. And just doing something as simple as copying files from one device to the other. Things like the environment changes. Like today, what happened was there was just this a lot of wind, and it's like you can sense and feel that it's blowing right towards me. When I look outside to the other side of the house, I can see through the kitchen window. There's no wind there. But behind me, where I'm sitting in the living room, there's like a lot of wind on just the window behind my back. So it's as if like they don't want me to do that. They don't want me to just do a simple file transfer. And then there's like a lot of thunder, lightning and thunder. I'm so used to it. I don't even like I don't even like get concerned. The only thing that like concerns me is when if it rains with the wind and the wind is coming through the windows, that's when I close the windows. Other than that, I don't mind. They can just hit the lightning as much as they can, the thunder. I don't really care for it. Other than that, the other thing is I I'm still going through some sort of learning. Okay, not some sort of learning. I'm still going through learning that is discussing some of um, the subjects that I had questions of. Sometimes I get like a intuition to talk about a specific topic, or something happens that inspires me to tackle that specific topic with the ancestors, with divine. And this is how I used to do it. But before, like just recording, before, when I did it, I didn't record, but I wrote as well. I used to, I have like a journal kind of a thing, which is something that I'm updating now at the same time. So I would journal it, talk about it, and then journal what I've learned. Sometimes I would be like very quiet and just writing. So other than, the normal chores that I do because I'm not working, well, actually I am working. This is a lot of work. It is demanding. I'm exhausted by the time it's like the afternoon, and I know that I need to do it because it's part of me getting clarity, me following my intuition based on the answers that I get, trusting the answers that I get from the universe, and also solidifying those answers and those topics to say, yeah, now I'm clear with the specific topic, and I accept this answer, and I've tested it many times, and I've seen that it is so. That is, I've seen it in my life working that way. So the other thing is, other than those type of things where I'm trying to do some of the things that I wanted to do, like recording for, these are like my spirit team consultation, sort of, or what do they call it? People call it meditation. Yeah, this is my form of meditation. So I had to find a way to continue with some sort of meditation where I didn't need, like, where I could get downloads without being disrupted by either banging on the roof, or those, strong winds coming through and blowing on the cabin, or cars or something. Like they would do anything just to disrupt that quiet, peaceful meditation state. And to be honest, I haven't ever been good at it. you know I find that it takes a while. I can only do it properly, well, not even so properly. I just can't, to be honest. The only thing that works for me is pranayama, and yoga, right? But what I've seen with pranayama is, which is something that I need to do, pranayama, because of it's some sort of meditation as well, because you have your eyes closed most of the time while you're doing the breathing exercises. That opens me up. If I practice it for like 2 to 3 days, my body just gets into it, and my mind also just gets into it. But what I've noticed is that that's when the downloads just comes very easy. I dream a lot. I have visions a lot more, and so it just essentially opens me up. However, when I try to do it in these environments, this is where something will happen and will disrupt me, or I either also just don't have the patience for it anymore. But I do love it. It's just the place where I was, it just got so out of hand. Like, you have to see it to believe it. You have to hear it to believe it. So one day I'm going to simulate it. One day when I have money, I'm going to simulate the noise that I used to hear. Anyway, Other than that, other than going through my daily things, the things that I enjoy doing, the things that I'm working on, what I've also noticed with on my day-to-day basis is I'm very mindful of when I talk to people, especially karmic people, like my uncle, for instance. He's always coming through with some sort of agenda. Like you can see that this person is looking for an opportunity to do or say something and get me in a situation. Like today, he was trying to get me to gossip and all of that. And I'm like, I can see you. I don't feel like talking about these people. First of all, I don't care for them and I don't care for the situation. And I've told him so before. And so I just keep quiet and be like, yeah. But then now at the end, he's like, yeah, so now what do I say to her? And I'm like, he was complaining about somebody else. Before I gave him an answer, I said to myself, should I be giving him I don't know what to say to him. And I kept quiet. And I was like, I don't know. She's like, and I'm like, I thought you answered him. He's like, no, I haven't. So I'm looking at him and I'm like, obviously he's trying to get me to do something or say something that is possibly something that he would use to draw energy. Hence the winds, right? Then they came with the very, he was talking about winds even when we were talking, like, hey, the winds here, have you felt these winds here? And I'm like, I have. And then it's ironic that after talking about them and after having that discussion with me, that is fragmenting me. And I knew exactly what he was doing. But something said to me, go ahead, say something. Go, like, it's like, something said to me, let's just see. I want to see what's going to happen, right? Like, I almost was testing him as well to see what would happen after I engaged in that type of low level or low vibrational state. Because I'm still testing certain things, whether they are working or not, certain curses they are working or not. But I can tell you the wind came. It never hit the window. I could just hear it. But it never hit the window. It's almost like there's a barrier around me or around where I am, where I can hear all those noises. And even it's funny because even the tree on my left, there's a window and there's a tree outside. It wasn't even shaking so much. It wasn't even shaking so much. So I'm looking at it and I'm like, this is weird. Anyway, but then I could still sense the negativity. Because what they do is they use that wind to push the fear, to push the anxieties, to push all this unwanted negative energy that they have. They use the wind to push it through. They project the wind. They project those feelings through using the wind. But for some reason, I could still sense it, but it wasn't as strong as it used to be. But also, I knew even when I was feeling it, it's like, yeah, whatever, man. Like, I'm like, let's see how long it lasted. It didn't last long. I would say maybe even like 2 minutes or so. I'm like, yeah, that's good. So the curse is falling off. And I'm thinking to myself, so that what I did there by engaging him, because what I said to him was, he was asking me how he should answer someone. And I was supposed to say, I don't know, it's up to you, something like that, like, I don't know, I wouldn't know how to do that. But something said to me, let's just see what would happen, because these karmics, they use those type of things to draw energy from you when you engage with. It's not everybody who does this, but the specific karmics or those who know that this isn't those who know these tricks, they would use it in that way to say, they would get you to do some low vibrational stuff, and by doing that low vibrational stuff, especially gossiping, they would use that opportunity to draw energy from you. It's a fragmentation. They know, they're watching, they're sitting there watching. They know as soon as you engage yourself into that kind of exercise or low vibrational behavior, your light escapes, your energy escapes from your body. This is where they grab it and they try to do what they did today. So they grabbed it and they came back with it. But my my protection was solid. Except for the feelings. I could still sense the feelings. So I'm like, okay, I can still sense the feelings. Now, what I did was the low vibrational behavior was, instead of saying, hey, I don't know, you're gonna have to answer, you're gonna have to like say whatever it is that you feel from your heart. Instead, I was like, no, let me say something. And I said to him, then don't answer. Don't answer her, right? And then he's like, yeah, I think you're right. I won't answer. He was happy that I gave him that kind of answer. His movement even changed. And I'm like, oh, I wonder what I did there. But let's see. I promise you, it didn't take 30 minutes after he left for the winds to start. They're so eager and so desperate to do something that could get me in a position, or get them in on like give them some sort of an upper hand, or tilt the scales again back to them. They're so eager. They can't even wait to test their bullshit once they did something. And I'm like, to Father, I'm like, I'm not gonna live this way. I'm not going to live this way where people are going to use this type of opportunity, because I'm in an environment which I don't want to be in, first of all. And this environment, like I say, it's set up so that the people that are going to be here, the environment itself, the house itself, they have openings on the ceiling so that the roof is exposed, the metal roof is exposed. Whenever I'm there, there's like a magnetic kind of a field which draws energy from my pores, and I can feel it, but it's going down. It's going down. So they know that I like to wash dishes. I don't know why I like to wash dishes. I just can't stand dishes. So they made sure that where I spend time in, they expose the roof, at least, even if it's not the whole roof, but expose a little bit of the roof by removing the ceiling. So yeah, so it's also that I need to, on a day-to-day basis, I need to be mindful of who I talk to, what I'm talking about, like not to get into low vibrational type of behavior around certain people. Like they will trigger you. So they will trigger you. You just need to learn not to fall for it. But in this instance, I wasn't falling for it, but I wanted to see something. I knew what I was doing, and I wanted to see something, and I was like, okay. And I'm testing something else as well with him, because he keeps talking about going, my grandmother coming back here to live with us, and I don't comment on that one. And I'm getting the feeling that he keeps trying to get me to talk about her coming through, like I need to sort of like agree that she can come here or what. And it's not my house. I don't have to agree to anything. However, I do believe, because of I'm living here, they have a problem now, because anyone who has to come through to this place, I need to sort of like agree to it, because no one is allowed to come to me unless I allow them to come to me. So whenever he wants people to come through, what I've noticed with him is that what he does, which is something that I'm actually picking up now, he would tell me like last minute, like, oh, so and so is coming. And I'm like, okay, right? But just by saying okay, it means I'm opening the door to them to come through. Like he told me yesterday that there's this other guy who's coming here, right? And I'm like, why? He told me like twice already. And I'm like, no. Okay, no, I actually didn't say no. I said okay, because the guy's coming here to do some work, and he's none of my issue. He's letting me know, right? So I don't really have an issue with that. But at the same time, it's like the grandmother, my grandmother needs to come here. He keeps bringing up that conversation. She's like, your grandmother coming back. I need to speed up the process for her to come back. And I'm like, I don't answer when it comes to her, because I told myself a long time ago that I'm not going to answer. I don't care for what they do with her. But now I'm realizing that this person keeps asking and talking like I need to say something, like I need to okay it. So I'm watching, I'm looking at this, and I'm like, I'm wondering, is he unable to bring her over because I haven't really made some sort of a yes or some kind of a okay kind of a thing where the door will be open for her to come through. Do I need to say something? So I'm testing that. I'm like, I only realized it yesterday because he keeps bringing up the same thing, and I'm like, go and fetch her already. But I'm saying it in my head. I don't even say that. I just basically be like, hey, you know what? This is not even my issue. I'm not even going to respond to this one. And I feel like this is where his frustration is. It's like, I'm not agreeing. I'm not playing that game with him. But with the people that came through the past two times here, it's my aunt and her friend from work, who he tells me about them coming over last minute, like 2 hours before. And he's like, did I tell you that so and so is coming? And I'm like, no. He's like, yeah, they're coming. They're coming to help to clean the house. I'm like, okay. Like, okay isn't like, okay, like what else can I say? But I'm realizing that okay, I should have just kept quiet. And next time I want to keep quiet and see what happens. And then to yesterday, he says to me, so and so is coming. I want him to do something for me. And I didn't respond at first, to be honest. I just heard what he said and I just didn't say anything. But then he repeated again. And he's like, did I tell you so and so is coming? He's like, yeah, you did. And he's like, okay. And then this is, I think, when this guy is able to come through. But I'm going to keep watch of that to see if it is working the way I think it's working. And it's going to be fun to see. Because my brother also did something the other day. Even for him, he was supposed to come through to come and check up on me when my uncle is gone on his holiday. He made an excuse that, just so someone can come and check up on you, so that you're not, because he went away for like a month. And I'm like, okay, but now I'm realizing that even okay is like, I forgot. I know that that's how it works, but I forgot that I don't have to agree to anybody that I don't want to be around me. So my brother calls me and he's like, he was supposed to come through. And then he says to me, I'm with so and so, that is my ex. Can I come with him? And I'm like, no. My brother didn't come. He didn't come through. They never came. So it's things like that I'm learning on a day-to-day basis of how to deal with personal situations, like the people that I live with, their method of fragmentation, and how they would steal my energy. And on one end, it's like, it's interesting so that you learn, so that you don't allow people to do this to you. On the other end, it's frustrating because I'm like, oh, do I have to be with this type of people? Like, can't I just go already? But at the same time, I'm like, okay, fine, I appreciate that. I'm learning, right? But on the other end, I'm like, I'm done learning. I wish I could just get a break, and just do something else other than deal with comics on a day-to-day basis. But that's the thing, it's like you have to be mindful sometimes even when you go to the store. Like sometimes I take walks and then I end up at It's a very far shopping center. It's like not too far, maybe like 1.5 kilometers or 2 kilometers away. So it's like 3 kilometers to and fro, or 4 kilometers to and fro, just so I can, do some sort of walking and, just be outside as well. And I'm okay with that. Just people in general. Just to be in the public. I'm mindful as well, because as much as I'm protected, I have to be mindful of who's following, which cars are following me, if there is anything following me or anyone following me. But I'm not like very on urge or anything like that. It's just the other day when I noticed there was this specific car that just kept going back and forth between streets, coming back, going this way and that way. And I noticed something just told me that those people are following you. And I was like, okay, whatever. And at some stage I said to myself, when they came through, I was going the other direction and they were coming on the opposite direction. And when there was a road that turns to my left, they took that road. Just before I get to that road, they took that road. And I said to myself, if those guys are stopped somewhere on that road, it means it's true. It's gonna confirm that yes, they are following me. So when I get to that 10, that intersection, T junction sort of, I'm just going straight on the T junction, and then I'm looking to my left and I'm checking, and I'm like, oh, there they are. They were supposed to be, the car, if they were like really just normal people parked, they would have been facing either towards the house that they're going into, or away, like the other side, like towards the left of the road. But what they did is they turned their car around to face me while I'm crossing the street. So I flipped them. And then I never saw that car again. Okay, I saw it for the second time and I didn't see it again. Or I saw it the second time, and then what happened was they drove fast thinking that I'm going to come through some other side. I changed the road. Instead of the road that they thought I was going to come into, I used a different road. And then I couldn't see them after that. So it's things like that for me, not for everybody. I think for other people it wouldn't be so bad, unless you are in the same situation as me, where you're being monitored 24/7. But yeah, it's not. The other part about it is that it's frustratingly boring. When you're used to working, apparently they call me a workaholic. I didn't want to accept that I'm a workaholic, but I think I am a workaholic. So it can be boring sometimes, although I have found a routine of doing my recordings and just recording my experiences and just documenting all those things that I feel like, what I should put. Like right now I'm actually going through my journal editing, just general editing of normal editing, not very serious editing. And I'm reading these journals, and I'm remembering, and I'm like, wow, I forgot about this happening. And it's also like taking me back to the lessons as well that I was learning at the time. And I'm able to see if or not I need to change that perception that I had when I was writing the journal. So I said to myself, I don't want to change the journal so much, so that I want to show how I evolved. I want the journal to show how I evolved from knowing something this way and getting some clarity, and eventually confirming and being firm in my understanding of whatever topic that I was going through at the time, or I need to go through at the time. And it's interesting to see how much I have evolved in from the point where I didn't know anything to now where I'm able to even go as far as challenge my own perceptions on things, challenge spirit as well, in terms of, but really, guys, are we really doing this on this specific thing? I have been doing that even when I was awakening, but now it's like I understand it more as to my job, so to speak. This is why I'm saying this is a job in a way. Much as I'm not like going into some sort of a company, having some sort of a access card or something like that, and a salary slip or something. I am still doing, you know, God's work. Me going through these things and me recording them or journaling them or whatever, sharing them where I can and testing them for myself to confirm that, yeah, that my theory on this type of thing is true, because I'm seeing it many times and I've tested it many times and I'm seeing it for what it is. And also learning in a sense of, because some habits are very hard to let go of, most especially gossipy type of, low vibrational stuff, gossip type of things. And gossip is one of those very easy ways for people to get you to vibrate low. And my uncle is a gossiper. I've come to accept that. He likes gossip. What else is there? How do I experience awakening on a day-to-day basis? There's always something. For me, the other issue, I would say was, but not really was. It still is to a degree though, is the torments or the curses that I'm still working through. As that time goes on, the moon is also helping in terms of taking away some of the curses that they made under the moon. I think that's what's left, because the other ones we've learned and we're able to take them off, and the moon now is busy taking off the curses that were made under the moon. And it's taking some time. Obviously, every moon cycle, I go through reduction of those curses. And at this point, and as I'm recording this today on the 28th, they're still there, but it's very, 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 very minimal. Sometimes it's like, I don't even, yesterday it was much better, but I still felt it. Today is much, much better, but I'm still feeling it. And I said to Father, I want them gone completely. I don't want to feel a scratch and itch or whatever. And I think people might also be, if I decide to post these things, people also hear every once in a while that I'm like scratching, or I'm just moving around. It's because of, they are either like sending some cares to make me itch somewhere and I need to like scratch there, or quickly, it's, most of it is like scratching, itching of some kind. My face as well, I was fine. My face was very nice and smooth before I came here. And since December, I came in November, towards the end of November. Since December, I've been here. I have this rash, and I also thought it could be milk, because I'm drinking a lot of milk. I never used to drink a lot of milk, but the coffee that I drink here, it's not nice when I drink it without milk. It's only nice when I drink it with milk. I actually prefer black coffee. But the coffee, man, and I prefer black coffee, and I want to have one good cup of coffee and be done with it. But the coffee that we buy here, I don't have a choice as to what coffee is being bought here. So, but the coffee that we buy here, I still love it, but it's only nice when you drink it with some sort of milk. So I'm thinking maybe it's milk, but I've tried as well to drink black coffee for a while and see if this rash will go away, but it's not. But today it's much better. So we'll see by the end of the full moon whether it will start going away completely, or it will Yeah, but I'm hoping that it will. Then I will know for sure that it is this beauty magic of theirs, that apparently they're doing some sort of a beauty magic. Other than that, I just go through the day just like every other time when I was going through the day before I was awakened. I don't really feel like there is anything so significantly different except for what I do. That is, let's say someone else has to go through an awakening, and like me, they have to leave their job and do whatever it is, or get guided towards their mission and their purpose and their mission, if it is different, right? Because I have been also like told that I could get it, I'm gonna get a job or something like that, and I keep saying to Father, please don't let me get a job, please don't make me work. I don't want to end up in an office of some kind. But I said to Father, as long as it's something that you want me to do, I will do it. But I don't want a traditional work, let's go to work kind of an environment. I will only do it if it's for Father, if it's my purpose to do it. That is, there's something in that job that will allow me to walk in my purpose, then I will do it. Other than that, no. I would rather have my start a business or something like that, be my own boss in some way. I don't want a job. I don't want to be. I don't mind going back to work, to be honest, but I don't want to go back to where I used to be first. And oh goodness, I got an inkling that I was probably gonna go back there. Uh, and I'm upset about it, but I'm hoping that was actually a fake dream. I'm hoping that wherever I'm going is where Father wants me to be, because that space as well, I had to go there because that's where my other counterpart was. We were supposed to meet in that place, but again, we were disrupted, you know, with this whole thing of making sure that we don't come together. And then I had to go my own way. He had to go his own way again. Anyway, other than that, if that place, the workplace that I was in before, is also home. That is when they, yeah, it's another story for another day. It's home in the sense of the place is built on where my heavenly home is. But that is the reflection of my heavenly home on earth is supposed to be there. It's not there because Uncle Old Man, when he did the extra layer of earth, he removed certain things which were there on the old layer and put some of his own things. So he built something else there. He built a bank there and then had me work for that bank. And then I'm like, why does this place feel familiar? When Father and Mother come through, they're like, it's home, it's because you're home. But it was a bittersweet moment. I didn't want to be there after that. I couldn't. And I wasn't the only one. My counterpart, when we felt that we were together, coming from a meeting together, and I saw his reaction, and I felt funny. He actually stopped. He stopped, and I waited and I looked at him, and when I looked at him and I looked up, the building was different. The building felt, the carpets, everything was different. It was like when I saw it, when I have a vision of what home looks like in heaven, and I'm like, why does this place feel familiar? And I see my mother and my father and some of my siblings or my brothers and sisters, not a lot of them, I think there were 2 or 3 behind them, and they were like, you're home, Destiny, you're home. Father's like, it's your home. And I'm like, home. I felt that he was just standing there and feeling like I could see he was emotional. And then it phases out, and then we both look up, and I'm like, I look at him, he looks at me, we don't say anything to each other, we just keep walking quietly. But I feel like crying at the time. I'm so emotional. I just want to get out of there and just be away, because I can't just start crying in the corridors of, you know, of a workplace. But I felt so emotional, and that vision didn't sit well with me, and I tried to avoid it until I had to go through the awakening and that remembrance of remember this part. And I was like, yes, now I remember. Now I remember seeing you guys. I remember that. And yeah, it's things like that. It's things I'm also familiar in a sense of I've been here before. The situation, this is another thing with my awakening, is that when some things happen, I already know or have seen them or knew that they were going to happen. I kind of like have an idea of what's next, what's next, what's next. But it's not even like a solid idea. It's more like only when it gets to it, and I'm like, oh yeah, yeah, I remember this step when we were planning uh, my mission here. Oh yeah, I was gonna meet this person. Oh yeah, I was gonna do this. Oh yeah, I was gonna do that. So that's another big thing. I think that's the huge thing about being awakened, is that you remember. I remember my home. I remember my parts of my mission. I remember my parents. That is my divine mother and my divine father and my divine siblings. I remember my, like the environment, what it felt like, how nice it was for me to be there. I remember the some of the parts of my mission where father's like, you're gonna have to look out for this. Remember, don't remember this, remember that, remember this, remember this, remember this. Okay, they're gonna do this. Okay, they're gonna do that. I remember when my father was going through the planning, there were some of the things that they did this comings, and he was like coming back and be like, these people like frustrated sort of with them. That's part of my awakening. It's like I'm able to remember things, and they're just coming through. They're not something that um, I don't think they can be stopped, and these comics are trying to stop that. I believe they think that I'm also receiving it from the universe. As much as I'm receiving it from the universe, some I'm receiving from my ancestors. Some I have the remembrance of them. That is, they are in memory. They are kept in my memory. Um, some I just ask. I just ask. I just ask. Like I asked for something recently, and it happened almost. And they happen immediately these days. Before, I used to like have to wait to see it. These days, it's like I would ask a question or I would ask for something, and I will see it like in 30 minutes or so, or an hour or so, depending on what it is that I asked for. I would I either see it when I see it. When I say see it, I mean like I will maybe decide to do something and walk around and maybe go to the kitchen and do something, and the vision will come into my mind to say, here's your answer. Or I'll do something specifically physical in the physical world that would give me a reminder or an idea of, oh damn it, this is what they mean, this is what, like something will jerk my memory, or something will inspire an answer in me. That's the nice thing about being awakened, is that when you're really in tune, or what they call tapped in, the information, the learnings, the downloads, whatever you want to call them, they come and you trust it. There's no like, oh, questioning it. There's only a few things that I do question. It's not like I don't question anything. The things that I question, I know I have to check myself first, if it's either it could be ego or it could be fear. But most of the stuff is like not fear as in like fear, but more like not fear, man, more like caution. You must be caution in a sense of this does not look right. Am I supposed to be doing this at this time, Father? What's going on here? And I'll get some, and when he says to me, no matter what you do, whatever you do, just listen to your heart. So that cautiousness is my heart telling me this is not right. And I listen to it. I'm learning to listen to it, because this is one of the things that Father promised to help me with, that I'm going to teach you how to listen to your heart. Like, for me to be able to go fully into my mission, because right now I'm in part A or whatever, phase 1 of my mission, that is dealing with the Cummings, my family, Cumming family. But I need to move on to the second phase of the mission. This is where, like, my intuition should be very, very firm, and me knowing what it means to listen to my heart. It's like, no matter what you do, just listen to your heart. That's how you're going to be successful with your mission. And I was like, okay, but how do I listen to my heart? He's like, I'll teach you. It's fine. I'll teach you. So he keeps giving me these opportunities, even though I hate them sometimes, because I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm still in training again. But when I look back at them, I see for a fact that, oh, okay, so he was trying to teach me to listen to my intuition. Oh, okay, so he's trying to teach me to listen to my heart. And this is what it feels like to listen to your heart. Like, how does it feel like? Like, does it feel like to always follow your heart? You know, and like, you become more and more sure of yourself. That confidence is being built up. Like, I can see that he's trying to build up my confidence, and all of that has been factored into the planning of my purpose here and my mission. And it's how I live on a day-to-day basis. As much as, yeah, I think sometimes I do believe that if I went to a workplace kind of environment, I won't get an opportunity like this, where I'm just continuously learning. Cooking is a learning time for me. Cleaning, I'm learning anything that I do in this environment, chores or anything like that, gives me some sort of a learning opportunity, or something comes through. Because when you're doing mundane things, when you're doing something that doesn't require you to think too much, and you just moving through it, this is when your downloads will come, and they are very clear. Even when you're listening to music, like the other day I was listening to the radio, and some of the songs say some things that we were meant to hear. Like, Father talks to me in songs and stuff. Yeah. So especially radio, like, not me playing my own playlists, but listening to radio. He does that a lot. He will play a song there, and I'll just sense it. I'll sense that Father saying something to me. And what is he saying? He's usually very sweet about it. He says some sweet things. It's as if, like, every time he has an opportunity to say something sweet to me, he does that. Or when he wants to, like, pump me up, in the sense of, like, you're doing great, he does that. And so I'm learning to pick up those type of things. And then I hear, even on the tarot readers, that they're also saying things like encouraging me to see such things as synchronicities with the universe. I had already picked that up, but I didn't mind them. I didn't think about them mindfully. So I just knew that this type of things happen. And I don't walk out too much. But I do. If I did, I'll probably see. Apparently, I should be watching on number plate cards, like any number, especially most numbers, some codes or something like that. It's the universe saying things to me. So I feel like I'm moving into that phase. It's getting more and more like that in my environment, where I'm seeing it. I used to see a lot of angel numbers before I did my awakening. But now I go in there and I check them out, actively. So what does this mean? What does that mean? Yeah. What else? It's not a Is it challenging? It depends on you, your mission. For me, the challenge, and there is no really challenge, it's just that I am like that and I need to drop it. This is the ego I have, the way I need to drop the ego off. I wish I was in a certain place so that I don't have to deal with this karmics. I need to let go of that so that I just go through being in this environment and accept it for what it is, that I'm still going through my learning, or my learnings, and just accept it for what it is, and take advantage of it instead of whining all the time. But at the same time, I need to give myself grace because I'm tired, especially of watching people try to put you in your way, and you're like, oh, not this again. The rain is stopped and the sun is like, it's so beautiful outside. You wouldn't believe that it started off with that much of wind, like very menacing wind. It is so beautiful. And I knew that they were not gonna last. I knew that whatever, they're gonna do this, and then eventually they're going to have to stop. And the rain stops immediately when my uncle drives in. He went out, I think, at some stage, but then as soon as he gets back home, the rain stops. And it's beautiful outside. It's dewy, rainy on the trees, and the sun hitting, reflecting on the raindrops and the leaves, the wet leaves. I'm watching on the other end of the house where I can see through the kitchen window. The greenery is, the color is different, and there's some, what do you call this fruit? Is it grapefruit? No, I don't remember what it's called, but that reddish as well. This is another thing that you see when you're, I was like that before, but when you're awakened, I enjoy things like the feel of an environment. Like you notice, you appreciate small things like, raindrops and color, natural color on trees and leaves, the 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 when the background soil has had some rain on it. I'm not outside, but I feel like going out, and I need to pause.